Hello everyone, welcome to ASR, African Stories Realized. This is our review of Netflix's Far From Home. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. The show is based in Nigeria and it follows Ishaya Bello, who is an artist working towards a prestigious fellowship to London. Unfortunately, even though he was selected for the fellowship, he still has to fund his own transport. The show follows Ishaya as he hustles for the transport money, working 2 jobs and selling his art on the side with the help of his friend Michael. He has a sister Rahila who aspires to be a student at Wilma Academy, a prestigious private school in Nigeria where most of the show takes place. Like I mentioned, Ishaya has been saving up his money. Not only has he been selling his art, but he's also been working as a cleaner for a shady realtor and as a waiter at the club owned by a pair of drug dealers, Rambo and Government. It just so happens that one of the days Ishaya was working at the club, his father gets sick. Ishaya's mother would use all his savings to help his father get medication and to pay for rent. It's important to note that Ishaya's mother does not support his art dream because years ago, when Ishaya's father was an artist, he was injured in an accident, but his son didn't survive. Ishaya's mom blames art for the loss they suffered that day. Things would continue to go downhill for Ishaya when his girlfriend Adufe discovers that he didn't tell her about the fellowship. She dumps Ishaya immediately and starts dating one of his bosses, Ogarambo. At this point, Ishaya has to make a new plan for his London fellowship, and an opportunity presents itself when the Wilma Academy offers up a scholarship that comes with a cash prize of $10,000. Ishaya and his sister would fail to register for the scholarship exam because there was a registration fee required. Ishaya would take the risk and steal money from his drug dealing bosses, Rambo and Government. After that, he was fortunate to get his hands on the answers for the entrance exam. With the money to register and the answers to the exam, Ishaya won the scholarship to Wilma Academy. But his victory would be short-lived when he was told that most of the grant money, the $10,000 he was expecting, had already been spent on his uniform and school supplies. Luckily for him, Wilma Academy were offering a spot for the London Fellowship via their art program, so Ishaya would have another opportunity to fulfill his dream. At Wilma Academy, Ishaya meets Frank and Zena. They become fast friends. He also meets Carmen, who is dating Atlas, a fellow artist and competitor for the London Fellowship. Carmen's family also owns Wilma Academy, but more on them later. When Ishaya returns home from his first day of school, he is welcomed by Government and Rambo, who have discovered that Ishaya stole from them. So they take his sister with the promise that if he doesn't pay in time, they will make her dance at the club. Despite his best efforts, Ishaya is not able to come up with the money to free his sister, but comes up with a plan to sell pills to his school peers in an attempt to pay off his debt. Ishaya would go about his business, selling his product and working towards the London Fellowship. Him and Carmen grew closer as the episodes went on, but Carmen was also dealing with some demons of her own. The show reveals that Carmen has been battling substance abuse since she was involved in a car accident, and at first were led to believe that Carmen was driving on the day of the accident, but it would just so happen that she was covering for her boyfriend, Atlas, who not only caused the accident but had been cheating on Carmen with her best friend Anna. He was only dating Carmen so he could gain favor with her family in his pursuit for the London Fellowship. Halfway through the show, Ishaya's friend Frank starts dating his sister Rahila, who still resents her brother for stealing her Wilma Academy dream. Meanwhile, back at the club, Ishaya's ex has now earned Ogarambo's trust and he puts her in charge of the club. Audufe would find herself in trouble after an employee stole some club money, so to replace it, she would cook up a kidnapping scheme, and with the help of Ishaya, they're able to kidnap Frank and get ransom for him. When Ogarambo finds out about this, he tells Audufe to continue with the kidnappings, and they set their sights on Carmen. Once Ishaya got wind of this, he came clean to his friends and the staff at Wilma Academy, confessing about his drug dealing and the kidnappings. The police were informed, and despite raiding the gang's headquarters, Rambo and Audufe managed to evade them. In retaliation, Rambo and his goons invaded Wilma Academy with the intent of taking Carmen and killing Ishaya. The kids do a surprisingly good job fighting off Rambo's goons, forcing them to flee when the police arrive. Adufe thereafter teams up with Rambo's right-hand man to take control of the gang from Rambo, who she keeps in a cage. I personally think she should have killed him cause Oga Rambo is dangerous, yo. The season ends with Ishaya winning the London Fellowship despite Atlas trying his best to sabotage his entry. This show was really entertaining and has to be one of Netflix's most authentic African shows so far. The stories and the characters had great development, and I'm also impressed by how they were able to highlight the classism, substance abuse, and corruption in Africa. I watched all 5 episodes in one go, and maybe that's the only negative. It was a little too short, and we all know Netflix will take 2 years making a second season. Whether there should be a second season is another question. I'm not sure where they can take the story from here, but I would be interested to see how they go about a second season. Nigeria, stand up. I'll be back again soon with another review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is ASR for the love of African filmmaking and storytelling.